Dear prospective international students, I am Dr. Mehmet Umutlu. I am the head of Department of International Trade and Finance at Yaşar University. In this video record, I will present information about the graduate programs offered by our department. Currently, we take applications for the PhD program in Finance and Master program in International Trade and Finance. Before proceeding with the further details of the program, I want to first briefly introduce our faculty members. Research interests of our faculty members include, but are not limited to, investment analysis, portfolio management, asset pricing, financial risk management, corporate finance, international finance, behavioral finance, corporate governance, banking, and financial markets. Now, let's have a brief overview of the PhD program in finance. The field of finance is one of the disciplines that provide many high-quality job opportunities all around the world. The demand for the study of finance is increasing, which in turn increases the need for academicians specializing in finance. Additionally, development of new complex financial products and instruments has triggered a profound change in the practice of finance, and this situation necessitates more researchers and managers with quantitative skills that can be obtained during a PhD study. The PhD program in finance aims to satisfy the needs of both the academic world and the capital markets for highly qualified researchers and managers. The program primarily aims to provide students necessary academic background and skills to conduct independent and original research in the field of finance. We offer some financial benefits to students as well. For instance, all admitted international students to the program pay no tuition fee. Our graduates are eligible to apply to the teaching and research positions in academia. Also, during the course of the program, our students obtain analytical and empirical background and skills required by various positions in finance industry, such as financial institutions, corporate finance departments, and regulatory bodies. Now we can have a look at the program structure. To graduate from the program, students are required to successfully complete the coursework, pass written and oral qualifying examinations, publish an academic article, and prepare and defend their PhD dissertation. The coursework consists of 3 months and 4 elective courses and a seminar course, and we must be completed within 2 years after enrolling to the program. After admission to the program, a supervisor is assigned to each doctoral student. So what are the career opportunities for the graduates of the PhD program? The graduates are eligible for academic positions all around the world. In addition, program graduates can work in research institutions and research and development departments of businesses, stock exchanges, central banks, capital market boards, and regulation and supervision agencies for capital markets. Graduates can also serve as a quantitative financial analyst, portfolio manager, financial risk manager in banks, and any other financial institutions. Now, I want to give information about the Master of Arts program in International Trade and Finance. Contemporary organizations are affected by the recent developments in the international trade environment, economics, and global financial markets, and therefore they need to incorporate these changes into their decision-making processes. Managers today should observe the ever so competitive global environment more carefully and make faster and more accurate decisions. For this reason, the need for managers who will keep up with the rapid change in the international trade and finance environment is on the rise. Students who will complete the graduate program in international trade and finance will have a strong finance background and be able to grasp the practical applications of theory and evaluate the interaction between comprehensive global trade processes and international economic and financial environments. Furthermore, they will be able to manage global economic risks like exchange rate risk, interest rate risk, and use financial instruments such as debt instruments, stocks, and derivatives, and etc. Additionally, they will gain abilities to understand and generate solutions for issues in international companies. Now, let me say a few words about the structure of the program. Master of Arts degree in International Trade and Finance is awarded to students who have scored a cumulative GPA of not less than 3 out of 4 and have completed 7 courses, a seminar, and as well as the successful completion of the master thesis. A student who has satisfied these conditions completes his or her education and fulfills the necessary conditions for graduation. The master program in International Trade and Finance prepares students for a wide range of job opportunities according to their individual interests and preferences. More specifically, graduates of the program are eligible for several positions in businesses with international and global dimensions and in financial markets such as financial analyst, bank manager, currency expert, international business consultant, stockbroker, hedge fund manager, risk manager, import-export manager, financial or managerial accountant, and auditor. Now we provide several scholarship opportunities for international students. So education tuition discounts are provided for international students depending on the performance. So 100%, 50%, or 25% of the tuition fee can be waived depending on the performance of the student. Moreover, students can find some financial aid when they get involved in projects that are run by their thesis advisors. And moreover, the Yaşar University Graduate School PhD programs provide 100% education fee discount or full tuition waiver for all admitted international students. So what are the application requirements? I will first start with the PhD program and then continue with the master program. So if you want to join our PhD program in finance, you should take either GRE or GMAT, and you should have a minimum score of 153 or 500 in these exams respectively. In addition to that, a minimum score of 90 in TOEFL is required. And additionally, master's cumulative GPA of 3 out of 4 is required. And the weighted average of scores should be at least 80 out of 100 in order to be considered for the full education fee discount. I will talk about the evaluation criteria in the forthcoming slides. Now I will continue with the master's program. Again, an applicant should either take the GRE or the GMAT test, and in this test, the minimum scores of 140 or 450 should be taken respectively, and a minimum score of 78 in TOEFL test is expected. Or alternatively, if you do not have a TOEFL score, the applicant can take the flat exam that is given by Yaşar University School of Foreign Languages, and in this exam, a minimum score of 65 is required. And if the international student wants to be considered for education peace scholarships, the weighted average of the scores that will be collected from different dimensions should be at least 65 out of 100. Again, I will talk about the evaluation criteria in the forthcoming slides. And here is the evaluation criteria for the PhD program in finance. So there are some different components of the evaluation. One of the component is the interview, and your score in the interview will count towards 25% of your overall score. And your scores in GRE or GMAT tests will have a weight of 50%. And again, the bachelor cumulative GPA and master's cumulative GPA has weights of 10% and 15% respectively. So the test scores and cumulative GPAs will be converted to a 100-point scale, and you will also receive a grade out of 100 during the interview, and then all those scores will be weighted with the shown weights on the slide, and your overall score will be computed. And for PhD applicants, that score should not be less than 80 out of 100. And the relevant weights for the evaluation components for the master's program are as the following. The interview has a weight of 25%. The international test scores has a weight of 50%. And the bachelor cumulative GPA has a weight of 25%. Okay, so you can find information about the application dates and quota information, as well as online application through the following links shown on the slide. And to summarize the required documents both for the PhD program in finance and master's program in international trade and finance, we have the following list. For the PhD program in finance, an applicant should provide a postgraduate diploma. And there is no restriction about the type of the bachelor's degree program. We welcome applications from any bachelor's degree. An MBA or a master's degree in finance and or economics is preferred, but it is not an obligation. Again, a master's degree from any discipline is welcome, but we strictly require that an applicant should earn a master's degree that involves a thesis work. That's a strict requirement. And the minimum cumulative GPA in the master's program should be 3 out of 4, and the applicant should provide transcripts in English. But if this is not possible, then the official translations along with the original transcript should be provided. We require at least one reference letter along with the motivation letter. And for the PhD applicants, the weighted average of those score should be 80 out of 100. So let's go over the documents or conditions that are required for admission to the Master of Arts program in International Trade and Finance. We require an undergraduate diploma from any bachelor's degree. we impose no restrictions on the specific type of degree program. Any program is welcome. Again, an English transcript or its official translation, one reference letter, one motivation letter, and depending on the demand for education fee discount, international student should collect 65 out of 100 in the weighted average score. So if you have more questions, maybe you can find the answers of your questions for these questions in your mind in the following websites. There are two websites, both for the PhD programs and for the master's program. These websites are prepared for general questions. These are not department-specific websites, but you can find the answers to the general questions about the application process. So it can be useful for the candidates. Now, in the link shown on this slide, you can find a list of potential PhD thesis or master thesis topics that are preferred to be supervised by our faculty members. So this list of topics can give you a rough idea about what are the current research interests that are studied by the faculty members. So we have some publication requirements for graduation, and those requirements change from PhD program to master's program. So for the PhD program, an applicant, prospective student should have one of his or her papers accepted in an academic journal which is covered by Web of Science or Scopus. In the master's program, a study that is produced from the thesis work should be submitted to a journal, and it should go through the review process without test rejection. That is enough for being able to fulfill the requirements for publication. So our library is a rich one, hosting thousands of physical and electronic books, and it also subscribes to well-known international databases, which will help you a lot in preparing your thesis work. Okay, you can find more information by visiting the website for the PhD program in finance and visiting the website for the master's program in international trade and finance. You can also follow us on social media by using the given links. And this is the contact information for the graduate school for general questions. Thank you for listening and for your interest in our graduate programs. I wish you success in your application. Best regards.